Hello, I'm talking about my bedwetting story today. But before I go into the details of that story, let me just advise parents, advise caregivers that people that do bedwet, they don't do it intentionally. They are not doing it because they want to get your house messed up. They are not doing it because they want to get you upset. They find themselves in that situation because they can't help themselves. So if you have that understanding, you understand how to treat maybe children or adults that do bedwet. Story time. So I was 7 years or thereabout when my uncle decided to bring I and my younger sister to live with him. And while we're living with them, my uncle's wife, that woman was a very terrible, terrible woman. As at then, I don't know if she's changed now, so I don't have anything against her. But as at then, when I was living with her, she was really not a good person. So every night I go to bed, and sometimes even during the day I go to bed, I will find myself bedwetting. And when I wake up from the sleep, you know, I'm afraid. Why am I afraid? Because each time I wake up from my sleep, whether day or night, especially during the night times, wake up maybe around 4 or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, getting ready for school, my uncle's wife will come into the room to check. Sometimes she might not even come into the room. She'll just ask, "Did you bedwet?" And every time I bedwet, she will give me 12 to 6 strokes of the cane every day. So that means as a child, when I wake up in the morning and I bedwet, I will get 6 to 12 stroke of the cane before I get myself prepared and go to school. So that was just the my routine as a child. So I bedwet, I get beaten, and I get myself ready and I go to school, which was a very devastating period in my life. It was very terrible because I can remember not even wanting to sleep as a child because I'm afraid that I will bedwet and my uncle's wife will come and give me 6 to 12 stroke of the cane. So I was afraid and I was having nightmare as a child, you know. I didn't want to go to bed. And sometimes I'm even afraid of eating, drinking water because I have it in my head that is because maybe I'm drinking water late. That's why I'm bedwetting. So all those things have tried, nothing was working. But I'm saying this story to make you understand, like I said previously, that when you see a person that is bedwetting or a child that is bedwetting, the least you can do for that child is to, you know, encourage the child, is to show them love because love goes a very long way. I'm just sharing this story because some people can be very, very wicked. And this make me go back to wishing as a child if my mom was with me. Because I know that if my mom was with me, you see all this trauma and all this stroke of the cane that I get after wetting, I won't get it. But it was unfortunate that my mom was not with me there. I was just there with my younger sister, and this woman was maltreating us. So sometimes some of the things that even made me bedwet, like I said, I get frightened at night. I don't want to go to sleep. And sometimes when I do go to sleep, eventually, I will start dreaming. I'll be dreaming that I'm in the toilet, because of that fear in my heart. Inside my dream, I'm wanting to go to the toilet. So I'll dream that I'm going to the toilet. While I'm in the toilet doing the wee, I will be very excited. Oh, thank God I did not wee on my bed today, only for me to open my eyes and I will realize that it's a dream. But the reality is that you see that I was doing in my dream, it was done physically on my bed. And I will rush out as a child. I will pack clothes, I'll put towel, put the towel on top of the bed. I will sit on the bed, press and press and press because I want that bed to be dried so as to avoid the the 6 to 12 strokes of the cane that she normally gives to me before I go to school. And even it got to a stage where she would tell me that she would take, because she was a teacher. She said she would take me to my class. She would tell all the children in the class that I bedwet. So you can imagine how I felt, growing up. I felt, really less of myself. I was not proud of myself. I was just like, God, what is this that is happening to me? You understand? Ashamed of myself. And that thing affected me up until when I entered secondary school. Let's not forget, was bedwetting up to maybe like JSS 1, 2, 3, the later part of JSS 3. And I was praying every day, God, when will this one end? But it was as if it was not going to end. So let's understand that, bedwetting is not something that is intentional. Do I really like to go to bed doing wee on the bed? No, even as a child, I didn't want it. I didn't want it because, number one, I look foolish. I feel foolish seeing myself wealth. I didn't want it because I would get beaten. I didn't want it because I have to hide my clothes when I wake up and be throwing them at the back of the wardrobe. I didn't want it because the whole room would be smelling. So those are things that I didn't want, but I could not help myself. And this is to let you guys know that when people bedwet, they are in different stages. For children, is no I know it's okay for us as children to bedwet, and most children outgrown it. Some of them maybe between 5 and 10 years, like 95% of children outgrow bedwetting, but we still have that small percentage, maybe like 5%, which I was among that category, that do bedwet further than the normal time that is, speculated for children to get out of bedwetting. And this happened continuously. I remember, I think I was sick and had to go to my mom's house or something, and my grandmom heard that I was bedwetting, and she was like, "Ah, is she still bedwetting?" My mom said yes. She said, "Okay, let her come to the village." And I went to the village. Oh boy. My grandmom said that for somebody that is bedwetting, if you wee on the arch, when you light the fire up, the arch that comes out and the coal is still red. If you wee on it, that the coal will absorb the wee, and as it's drying up, the bedwetting is drying up. That was a film trick. I did all that and went back, and nothing stopped. So you can see that sometimes it takes longer for some people to stop bedwetting. Sometimes, especially for those that are adults, you now know that maybe that person has a medical condition. And when you grow up from teenage, getting to adult, and you're still, bedwetting, then you have to seek help from the doctor. And sometimes it's a spiritual thing. I'm a Christian. I don't know about you. But for me, I have that belief that when something is beyond normal, then there's a power that is powering that problem or that situation. In my case, remember I told you that when I sleep, I always dream that I'm doing wee in the toilet. And for every time I have that dream, I must bedwet. So you can see that if you have a child that is bedwetting, ask them. Some of them will be able to relate this to you. You understand that this is what happens. They really literally go to bed in the night, sleep, and start dreaming about, them going to the toilet. But in the real sense, they are doing it physically. And let me not just let you, before I finish this video, although it's not a good thing, but oh boy, if you bedwet, write it down in the comment. You know that feeling when the pee is coming, eh? It will be very, very warm. That time you want to cover yourself up. I'm just saying this story for us to show more love to the children that bedwet. Because for me, if I'm in a place or go to anywhere where you're beating your child, or maybe you scolding your child because he or she is bedwetting, it really breaks my heart, because I did have that experience and it was not a pleasant experience. So please, I beg you, parents, I beg you, carers, please and please and please do not smack your child or talk down on your child when they bedwet. Thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel, hit the notification button, and do comment